Welcome back to Larry's Library. If you're new and you like what you see here, you might want to hit the sub and notify yourself so you don't miss out on future stuff. Today, we're going to look at Cosmic Detective, an original hardcover graphic novel by Jeff Lemire and some other people who I'll get to. Just finished reading this one today. This was a Christmas gift from my daughter, Kristen, also known as the Comic Slayer. Check out her channel if you haven't already. Link down below. And this one it's kind of unusual. It's very unusual. This was a Kickstarter project. I don't think that it has come out as a regular item that you can get from the usual places. Not yet. I don't see why it won't. A lot of Kickstarters do eventually make their way into the regular channels, so hopefully that'll happen. But this is 168 pages. It's an oversized deluxe hardcover. And it's one of those unusual sizes. It's very wide and tall. It's not as tall as an absolute, but it is bigger than like the Image deluxe hardcovers. So it's a really nice size. 168 pages. I believe the Kickstarter on this was $40 to get to the level to get the physical copy. And if you like sci-fi at all, and if you like noir, if you like both, bonus, you definitely want to pick this up. So, as you can see from some of the B-roll here, this is a beautiful presentation on the build on this one. It has gold gilded page edges, has this nice ribbon. It's purple. It's a very colorful book, and it is of the type where there's no dust jacket, and the art is printed directly on the cover. And I don't know why this doesn't become the standard for all hardcovers, because it's beautiful. And it has a sort of semi-gloss sheen to it, so it doesn't attract, pet hair and all that kind of stuff. Don't need a dust jacket. It's gorgeous. This is the way all books should be, in my opinion. Anyway, so the creators on this are Jeff Lemire and Matt Kindt. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It's Kindt. But anyway, they're the two writers on this. And the art is by David Rubin. Now, I had never seen anything by David Rubin before, to my knowledge. And, at first, it wasn't really quite in my wheelhouse because it's a little cartoony. And I tend to like the more realistic styles. But it's not too cartoony. It's definitely sort of in the Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby vein, which I like both of those guys, And as I got about halfway through the book, I realized I loved this artwork. It took me about that far to really kind of get it, and when I got it, I loved it. As for the story, a quarter of the way in, wasn't sure I was getting it, because some of the mechanics with the plot and some of the mechanics with the way he can travel and whatnot is done without any text at all, no narration. It's just done strictly through the art and the effects in the art, which are spectacular. But anyway, and so some of it is a little bit left to your imagination to kind of figure out, well, what exactly is happening here? But eventually, I think I got it. I got enough of it to where I kept reading. And by about the 50% point in the book, I was sold. And I loved it. And it has a nice, satisfying ending, too. And this is, as far as I can tell, this is a one and done. I'm not sure how it could ever have a sequel. Don't expect that to happen. This is pretty much a complete thing unto itself. And yeah. So genre-wise, this kind of fits in the Blade Runner-esque universe, sort of like a sci-fi detective noir story on the one hand. But then as it gets further along and he uncovers the mystery that he's pursuing here, which I'm not going to reveal, then it takes on a very Jack Kirby-esque Eternals, think Eternals, and a little bit of the Fourth World Saga he did over at DC, the New Gods, and that sort of thing. It touches on a lot of those kinds of touchstones, and it does it really well. The whole thing really is a love letter to late 70s Jack Kirby, for sure. I mean, it's even dedicated to Jack Kirby here at the beginning. Let me get a quote here. Very beginning of the book, it says, "Dedicated to Jack Kirby, who shows to all of us that everything is possible on the comic book pages. And that is true. This has a lot of the Kirby crackles. You can see them right here, even on the back, but with kind of a digital flair, kind of a modern take on the Kirby crackle. If you don't know what a Kirby crackle is, I'll put an example here. And this is that coalescing energy kind of thing that Jack Kirby would do, his effects on a lot of his art, where there would be these circles and bright patterns and, well, like this. Here's an example. And there's a lot of that in here, and I really loved it. Like I said, the whole thing is a love letter to that era of Jack Kirby stuff. But it's sort of seen through the lens of this detective character, which is very reminiscent of Harrison Ford's Blade Runner, the film, but not that dark, not quite that gritty. It's a little more upbeat and a lot more colorful. Lots of great colors in here. But yeah, so this plays with a lot of those tropes, but it does it in a very unique way, very satisfying way. And if you like that sort of thing, then I think you should pick this book up. If you're a Jeff Lemire fan, then you're going to pick it up anyway, because you're going to read, you're going to eat up whatever he produces. And writing-wise and idea-wise, I don't think Jeff Lemire can fail. I mean, I have not read Plutona, and I know my daughter didn't like that one, so maybe he can fail. But I haven't read something yet that wasn't great by Jeff Lemire. And this is just another example of that. And I do love this book. I recommend it. Pick it up. Take a look at this beautiful art. Yeah, this is a winner. And after I finished it, on one hand, I wanted more, but on the other hand, I was really satisfied with the ending, and I really liked it. A little dark, but not too dark, and it's great. Pick it up. If you haven't, order it. It's really good stuff. I give it a 10 out of 10. But you know how I am. The way I rate books, everything starts out as a 10, and then I just take things away as I find problems or flaws, in my opinion. And by the time I got done with the end of this, I just didn't have any. So this is a 10. And that's all I want to say about it, because I don't want to spoil it. And this is a very plot-driven tale. I mean, there's some good character stuff too, but it is very plot-driven. So yeah, you want to check this one out, and you want to kind of go in spoiler-free. So I'm going to leave it there. So if you like this kind of thing and you want to see more, definitely subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out. I do some hauls and unboxings, you know, outside the normal schedule of Monday is generally a review show like this, or a special. But then throughout the week, I sometimes do hauls and unboxings and different things like that. So I'm gonna let you go now, and I'll see you soon.